All right, so I've had time to sit, had time to think about it, and it's just the more I think about it, the more I get terrified of our offense. And obviously, our defense did not play good. And I'm recording this the same night as the game, so my voice is shot right now. But I want to talk about this. And again, I want to avoid the defense right now, even though they did not have a good game. It was like 150 yards they allowed between the two running backs. But it's just... And it didn't feel like a wide receiver problem. Obviously, yes, you had Dobbs, which I've already talked about a bunch of times. I talked about it in the stream. I talked about it in my recap video. If Dobbs held onto that ball with two hands, that's a touchdown. We win this game. We don't go into overtime at all. But that doesn't feel like it's the only problem. And I don't know if it was just Rodgers having an off night. I don't know if it was just the O-line just did not look good at all. It was not our running backs. Our running backs were good. Aaron Jones had I think it was 116 yards, a buck 16. So AJ Dillon had like 70 some yards or something like that. So it was not our running backs. It wasn't our kicker. It wasn't our punter. And again, outside of the run game, it wasn't our defense really either. But I can't put my finger on why. And it kind of feels like it's a blend of Rodgers, the wide receivers, and the O-line. It just, I don't know if they're not clicking, but our offense, the first 4 games, has been atrocious. I'm pretty sure this is the most points we put up so far. 27 is the most points we put up in a game so far. Obviously, I'm okay putting up 14 against Tampa, and we only let them score 12. I'm okay with that. But the Vikings game, which, again, week 1, and I know it's kind of an outlier because we're 3-0 since then, but they just were able to dominate, do whatever they want, and our offense could not get off the field, or couldn't stay on the field. Our defense couldn't get off the field. And again, I don't want to, harp on it too much because it's week 1, but that feels like it showed me like, hey, like this is how our offense is going to be the whole year. And maybe it's Rodgers doesn't trust some of the wide receivers. He doesn't trust Watson. He doesn't trust Dobbs and whatever. But it should not have been this close. We should have been able to clearly 10 plus points beat them. Easily we should have beat them. But we never blow out a team. It always has to be less than 10 points that we win by. And if we lose, sometimes we lose by, 30 or whatever like that. But I don't know why. Maybe it's the play calling as well. But it just was a combination of so many things. And again, that defense for the Patriots is their strength. They're, pretty good and whatnot. But it just shows that they faced the Dolphins, and I think they was at 7 points with Mac Jones they lost by. I think we lose this game if Mac Jones plays. I seriously do. I think if Mac Jones plays, the playbook's more open, more wide open for everything and whatnot for him to throw. I think we lose this game if Mac Jones plays. And the rookie, again, first time I went over this, I covered it in my recap. He had a pretty good game for his first ever game. He had 99 yards and a touchdown for his first ever game. So that's not bad. But if it's a Mac Jones, if it's Brian Hoyer, I don't know how we win that game. I feel like we don't win that game as well. And again, their coaching is unbelievable. Defense coaching really well. Offense had come out with these, trick plays, able to run it down our throats and whatnot. But they're considered a mid-tier team in that they're maybe top 15, top 20, somewhere around there. That's a mid-tier team. And we won by 3. That should not happen. We're offensively, we're terrible. We're absolutely terrible. And defense, again, defense played well. They did what they had to do. We can talk about that delay of game that should have been called and whatnot, but it just doesn't feel like the offense is anywhere near. And I don't know if a wide receiver, picking up a free agent wide receiver, is going to fix that. OBJ in November, because I don't think anyone's going to pick him up till November. Was it Kenny Stills, I believe, wanting to come? Whoever else. I don't know if that's going to fix a lot of problems, because the problems feel like it's more than the wide receiver core right now. And I've, called out Matt LaFleur's coaching for 2 years now. It's been 2 years. I gave him that first year, rookie head coach and whatnot. I said, okay, I get that. You're not going to be perfect. We're, 3 years, 4 years into this, and it's still, it's predictable, it's conservative, it's not, not like Mike McCarthy, it wasn't the greatest all the time, but there were times where it's like, okay, well, they had a play dialed up to change the momentum, to get downfield and whatnot. Obviously, sometimes Rodgers would, change the play and whatnot, and he's talked about that in the past. But there was always something. And here, it's more conservative. Give it to the running back. Let the defense do its job. And just, Rodgers can just be Rodgers if he wants to. And I don't know. Now, personally, I think we still make the playoffs, but I don't think we go far in it. I don't. Being unbiased, being realistic, I don't think so. Because our offense needs to step up, and they're not doing that. We still have, 16 weeks, 15 weeks, whatever. No, sorry. We have about 14 weeks. 13, 14 weeks left for regular season. Games we have to play. We obviously have a bye in there, too. But they just don't look right. And I'm not the first person to call it out, but they just look terrible. So here's to hoping in the future they fix these problems with the coaching, wide receivers, Aaron Rodgers, figure something out. Our O-line is able to hold people off for more than 0.2 seconds. So I'm going to wrap it up here, but just this offense just did not look good at all. And it sucks. But I don't know what to say about it. I'll probably make a video at mid-season point, and we'll talk about the offense again. But they have not looked good the first 4 weeks. So without further ado, like the video, share the video around, don't forget to subscribe, and I'm out of here. Peace.